In this lesson, we're going to talk about how, as networks grow, it becomes necessary to begin to divide them from a single large local network to multiple smaller local network segments. Let's look at our enterprise here that we had drawn on the board. And this enterprise consists of three major departments. We have network management, we have the accounting department, and we have the sales department. Now, some of the reasons that you might divide a network into smaller components, the first one is just to limit the amount of broadcast traffic that goes across the network. Anytime you generate a broadcast, even though I'm way over here in network management, my computer and all of the other devices on the network will be forced to accept that broadcast and process it. Most broadcasts don't contain information that every single device needs to know. So there are a lot of broadcasts that are being processed by your device that are eventually being thrown away because the information contained in that broadcast really isn't needed by any application on your device. Now, that's one reason that we might want to divide a network, is to contain broadcasts, to make smaller broadcast domains. And the term broadcast domain refers to the area that hears a broadcast. So in the case of this network, because all of the devices are connected by switches, all the broadcasts would be heard by all of the connected devices. Now, another reason that we might want to divide our network is for security purposes. We may not want people in the sales department to be able to see the devices and servers or use the printers that are located in the accounting department. We might also not want the accounting department to be able to access the network control mechanisms that are in the network management department. So that's another reason why we might want to divide our network into smaller pieces. A major reason that we might want to divide the network is, say, for example, our accounting department is moving. They've got a new building or a new office on a different floor, and they're going to be moving outside of where our local network can actually service them. So taking and dividing something by geographical location requires us to make our network segments much smaller. So basically, how do we do that? How do we divide a network that is one large network into smaller pieces? One of the ways we do is with a router. In all networks, the local network, meaning the network that belongs to the business or the home or the enterprise, that network is separated from the internet by a router. When you buy your home network connection, your service provider puts a router at your home. That is so that the traffic that is generated by your network does not end up at the internet. The internet would not be happy with that. So basically, when we add a router, the router enables us to divide the network and also to divide the broadcast domains. So if I were to insert routers into this network diagram, let me draw some routers here. When I insert routers into this diagram, I have now taken one relatively large network and divided it to three separate networks. On a router, every interface on a router connects to and defines a separate network. And when I'm talking about separate networks, we're talking about both broadcast domains, but also different IP networks. Different networks that have different sets of IP addresses that identify all of the people within the network as being on the same IP network. So basically, to recap, the reasons that we divide a network: we divide the network because of security, we divide the network because we want to maintain smaller broadcast domains, and we divide the network because we may be moving things to different locations. where a single large network can't reach.